the F do you turn traffic into tangible, soul, dreamy clients that buy from you? How the F do you do that? This is what I'm going to be diving into on this week's episode of Diaries of a Six-Figure Coach podcast. And I'm super excited to have this conversation with you because this is where I see most entrepreneurs not get strategic enough or just feel their way through and results are hit and miss. And most importantly, leave a lot of opportunities that they're creating on the table, which I have also done. And it's kind of heart-wrenching because from that place, when we're actually understanding that we're creating all these opportunities, when we're realizing that we've planted all these seeds through all these ways in which we have allowed ourselves to show up and gain visibility. And I shared strategies around that last week in my latest episode on traffic. And then we don't do anything with it. We don't do anything with it. And it's literally like we've created these opportunities. We've gone through all the effort. We've shown up to have the traffic come in. And then we freeze when it comes to actually saying, now, how can I capture these people? How can I capture these quote unquote leads? And don't get your knickers in a knot when I'm saying that, because we can just keep it simple and say, yes, we're attracting these amazing new clients to come to us. These could be ideal people for us, but we don't know that yet, but we've created the traffic for them to come to us. Now, how can we actually make sure that we're moving them through our business from this first touch point, first experience, which we've created through multiple different ways? Again, I shared 3 with you in last week's episode, so you can go back and check it out. But I touched on podcasting and speaking and tapping into media. And I'm also going to dive into the power of collaboration next week. So there's one more coming on that. But how are we actually now going to take this a step further? How we're actually going to generate leads of ideal clients? How are we actually going to have conversations with the people that really are interested in our programs and services? And this is what I'm going to dive into today. And this comes down to understanding what that client path is, which is invisible. The way we move people through our business is invisible to our clients, but we know it. And it is backed with behavioral science. It is backed with studied consumer behavior. And that sounds all freaking fancy, but ultimately the way we make purchase decisions. And we can tap into this knowledge. And this is something that I teach my clients inside my programs around launch, things that I always touch on and consider when I talk about content. But it is so important for us to understand what this journey is and the journey we actually take clients on. And personally, when I went down the rabbit hole on having an energetic only approach to my business, being all the way into like this feminine flow and sort of neglecting the masculine structure, I was able, with some of the launches that I was doing in 2021, to create massive momentum and have people coming through. And it started to work and I started to see clients come in, but I left so many opportunities on the table because I didn't have a bigger strategy around that particular launch on creating that. And so I started to rely on launches again and again and again to have clients come in, and that really worked well for a while until it didn't. So I really was getting to a point where I was like, how can I improve and refine what I'm doing? How can I make sure that I have a consistent way of actually getting people to buy from me? And that also meant to bring in more structure, to bring in more processes, to bring in more systems, and to really continuously think about how can I build simple sales funnels that help me lift some of the weight to connect and nurture with the people in my community on a consistent basis so that I can generate more consistent leads. And it continues to be the number one thing that I spend time on refining and improving, and at the same time, make it work for me again and again and again, and build for the long term. Okay. And so feeling what feels good and where to send people after you've written an article or after you've been speaking or podcasting, or even on your social media, like making where we want people to go next and afterthought through our marketing and through our messaging is a shame. It's a shame. Why? Because you are creating these opportunities and then you literally don't do anything with it. It's like we've come to think that people just figure out themselves where to go. Like there was this big movement in the last couple of years, especially within the coaching industry, that we all work with self-led leaders, that we all work with people who just figure out where to go and what to buy. And we just hold them to their higher standard, and we don't need to answer questions. We don't need to be more direct. We don't need to give them all the details. We don't need to do all that. And things, have changed because they're always changing. People are more discerning around their buyer's decision. And if you are really wanting to have these consistent 10 to 20K months, then getting strategic and not relying solemnly on having only self-led leaders in your community is really key. So you're creating traffic. You have no idea who is coming in yet. You don't know these people yet. And this is the first thing we got to do. We got to get really intentional to say, as we're creating this traffic consistently with our messaging, with the way we put out, where do we want people to go next? What do we want them to do? And what I would recommend if you are scaling up to your first 6 figures is that you're starting to think about what's the 1 or 2 places I want people to go to. And you can have multiple pipelines of traffic into sales funnels, 100%, but we want to keep it simple. And we want them to come to a place where you can connect with them further and where you can nurture them to build the know, like, and trust factor. So right now, take out a piece of paper and I want you to write down when somebody first experiences you, when they first hear your message and think that this is a person that for the first time might have gotten exposed to you. Where do you want them to go next? What do you want them to do next? And this could be one place you send them to, or maybe make it free. But what are your top 3, if you have more than one, what are your top 3 places you want those people to go to next? When you consistently direct this traffic into your sales funnel, what you start to do is like a funnel, right? We can start to weed out the people that aren't ready, the people that aren't ideal, the people that are just there to gawk, and get down to actually the group of people that turn into true fans, that turn into the people that want to buy from you, that are ready, that are saying yes. If you have 1,000 people come in every single month, there may only be about 20 to 50 left that are actually ready to, for example, come and join you in your high ticket mastermind. If you have 10,000 and you have 20% of your people coming in, that would mean you have 2,000 people who are starting to be more and more interested in what you have to offer. But it takes time, it takes dedication, and it takes consistency. So where do you want them to go next? Really think about that. And the places that you want them to go, whether that is them opting in for a freebie, right? Opting in and you get their contact information in exchange for some value that you have, you want to be able to nurture them from there. So if you're sending them to a freebie, after that, what are you going to do to really help them see the big picture vision? Because this is where, once we said we're interested, once we identify that you're solving a problem that we are having, that you have something, a goal, a desire, something that sparked within me that I said, I'm interested in knowing how to do that, how to get that, or how to resolve that. Now you've got to do your job in your business and communicate the whole vision and the value of this work, the value of moving them from where they are to where they want to go, and then position your program or your service as the solution to that. And this is a positioning conversation that I talk about on my social media. But again, I'm not going to get into that into depth today. But what I'm saying is we need a place, we need a space where we can actually nurture that and communicate this big vision consistently, so we can move our clients, we can move these people from this awareness stage into the stage of actually understanding the vision, understanding the importance, and then gluing together that, yes, this is for me. Yes, this is what I want. Yes, this is a problem that I'm having, and I'm ready to resolve it because I see how this could, for example, take me from 5K months to consistent 10 or 20K months if I would just know what I have to actually do with this traffic and send clients somewhere and have some automations and have some simple sales funnels that help me nurture this community, some on autopilot and some through the content I'm creating, maybe on my social media. But what are we doing? Where are we sending them next? Where do I want them to go next? And you can even from there, once you have free places, where do I want them to go next? Where do I want them to go next? Keep asking yourself that, but we want a complete path from the first touch point to the next place where, again, you really want to focus on connection, nurturing, and building that know, like, trust factor by, again, demonstrating the value of your work and showing them how they can get from where they are now to where they want to go, and how your program gives them the steps so it naturally positions it to sell. And then again, where do we want them to go next, right? It has to be a way in which we're moving people through this full cycle so they can get to the point where they're like, yes, this is for me. Yes, I'm ready to buy. Boom, how do I buy it? Here's where you click. Here's how you join. This is what's next for you, and here's let's make it happen. So we're moving them through this journey, through the psychology behind buying, in a way that has them identify and move on this journey with us into our businesses. So we have to get strategic to create this path. And oftentimes we don't know that we're on this, which is why I call this an invisible path. And that's actually the second part of a vibe method that I teach my clients inside my launch program, which is one of the many programs you get access to when you come into the strategic mastermind. So consistently directing people and really doing something, then also with the leads you capture, with the contact information you capture, is so important, because this is how we can actually move people through our business to becoming clients. And one of the things here to really think about too is, what are the spaces in which you want to do that? We don't have to send people to 10 different spaces. You can, but if you have 10 different pipelines, that means you have to make sure that things are in place on 10 different pipelines for you to connect, to nurture, and build the know, like, and trust factor. Now, a lot can be built and automated, but it is not necessary. If you have 3 or 4 that are really solid, that you refine and make better, this is how you get consistency faster, because your energy is very focused. Also, it could only be 1 if that's what you want. I am here for simple and potent and effective and driving results. I am not here to hustle myself into the ground. I have done it. And in 2021, when I was relying on launching again and again and again and again, and every path was different, every single month, it started to become exhausting. And I made it to 100K. And guess what? I was burnt the fuck out with a business model that relied 100% on me, 100% on things in my head. And I was like ready to burn my business to the ground. And in fact, I had to rebuild with simpler strategies, which is why now I'm breaking it down into simple steps, into doing less, but doing it with more intention and doing it with more clarity. And the more intention and clarity, and the better you know how you're actually moving clients through your business, the easier it is to communicate. And the easier it is to communicate, the more confident you are in communicating it. And when people can feel that confidence from you, now we're getting back into an energetic conversation, they continue to be attracted and they're like, wow, I want that. Confidence sells 100%. And I can tell you that if I am not confident about what I'm communicating or how I'm getting people from point A to point B, from, for example, this podcast into wanting to reach out and set up a call to come to the strategic mastermind, if I'm not freaking clear on that, then I can't communicate it for shit. And I'm one of those people that you could give a topic on business like this and say, okay, you have 15 minutes to talk on this, go. And I literally would pull it out of my ass. But the thing with that is that now also I would think about it and right away be like, boom, okay, I'm going to talk about this. And how can I get them to take another step? Where do I want them to go out of the places that I already have built? My Instagram being one of them, always as a really great place to go. But I am very present on my Instagram. I'm very connected on my Instagram, and I spend time connecting with my community there, really getting to know people, building relationships, to produce content. I go live every single week. I offer free mentorship opportunities on this space. I have conversations with people in this space. I am social on this space. Like, Instagram is a place I intentionally spend a lot of time on because I really love connecting with my community that way and having conversations. So I can send them to my Instagram, or I can send them to one of my freebies, which is built to have people go and experience the next step. For example, I just completed a business audit for a beautiful entrepreneur who had found out about me through a guest podcast that I was on. And one of the things I gave away was my Way to 100K training, which is a free email training that you can sign up for. And from there, I nurture my community. I nurture the people that are coming in through an email sequence that is designed to educate them around what the way is to 100K, and then invite them into taking another step. The business audits being one of them, because that is a great way for me to identify, are they an ideal client, where they're at in their journey, and I connect with them specifically. So I get to demonstrate the value of my work, and I get to showcase and see where they are in my business and what is the best place for them to go from here. And this particular client was at a very, very early stage. I was able to give a free, really powerful pieces of feedback around where I see bottlenecks right now and what to focus on. And I also shared with her the next steps she can take and some resources that she can tap into right now. And she is not a client for my strategic mastermind, but she is a client to come into, for example, my Launch Your Business bundle, which has all of my programs. So there's a way I can now have her go through my business that's very clear and very intentional. And I want to ask you, do you feel like right now you have a very clear path that you take clients on that move them from first experiencing your business, your brand, to becoming clients? Are you clear on this right now? Do you nurture these leads? Do you nurture these new people coming into your community, either through your Instagram or through email sequences? Do you have a way to not just capture people coming in, but actually are you intentional around building that know, like, trust factor by demonstrating the value of your work and clearly communicating all the key pieces, problem awareness, solution that's available to them and where you can take them, and then how you do it by having a clear framework. And do you have some of those pieces automated so that you can really create some more time freedom and effectiveness? 3 things. So these are some of the questions I want you to ask yourself. And if you do not have them right now, then this is a really great place to start and sit back and really take a bit of time to think about this. Because the second you know how to move people through your business, it's a game changer. Just like having a product suite, an offer suite, if you have multiple different programs and offers and you run multiple different things, why I always say it's amazing to have multiple offers. But are they all actually connected to each other? Are they complementing each other? Are they selling each other naturally or the next one naturally? Right? Like this product suite that you have, if you have a free tier product suite with low ticket, mid ticket, and high ticket offers, does it actually set people up to take a logical next step? Or is it all just thrown out there because you like the idea to be multi-dimensional and you think it's sexy because you get to talk about something different all the time? Like, are you telling yourself that energetically feeling, and this week you do that for this person and next week you do this for that person, is actually working for you? I'm bringing this up because it used to be me. And again, yes, it worked until it didn't, until I didn't have the time anymore to come up with all this new stuff, until I was out of capacity and my creativity freaking tanked and I couldn't come up with new things anymore. And it was horrible. It sucked. And then I started to realize that this is actually not helping me do what I want to do. It's sabotaging my progress because I was resistant really creating a bigger vision on bigger paths on how to guide clients through my business. So where are you at with this? Where are you at with this? And if you made 100 notes and had some breakthroughs from this, which I will leave, you'll have some breakthroughs from this episode for sure. But you're like, oh, damn, I really like to take this a step further. I want to understand really where I'm at, or maybe where this disconnect is from people coming in and them actually buying. I offer my free audit. So if you'd like to receive a free business audit, you can click below. I'll put a link in these show notes where you can apply for a business audit, and then I'll be in touch with you. And I'm actually going to put my eyes on your business and we'll have a conversation, and I'll give you some feedback on what you can do to improve. And of course, you can come into my strategic mastermind if you're like, I am a go and I want in, and all the information is down there. And I'm always also available to chat with through my Instagram at Teresa Lambert Coaching. And I love having conversations and answer your questions and see if working together fit, see if doing a business audit is the right next thing for you to do. Like, I am here to have conversations. I'm here to build relationships. You never know where this leads to. It doesn't always have to be sales. And next week, I'm diving into the power of collaborations with Millie. I'm super, super excited. And this is another juicy conversation that will help you not just to create traffic, but also then figure out where can we move that traffic to, right? What's the steps again we want them to take? But these things are so vital for you to think about. Stop guessing. This still can feel freaking amazing and flowy and lavish. It doesn't make you feel like you're boxed in. And in fact, controversial to what a lot of people say, strategy does not box you in. But fully energetically leading yourself and just feeling your way through all your business with no system and no strategy and no direction and no clarity will always leave you in an energetic cha-cha, because there is nothing to hold you. And a lot of that has to do with really healing some disempowered, wounded masculine energy and allowing yourself to be held. and allowing yourself to receive that support and to be guided by the structure, by the strength of having a strategy. And this is something that certainly has also tied into my relationships and has been part of my journey around needing to dismantling my business because I was burnt out and really tripling down on freaking strategy and systems and processes. And I needed to heal a lot of wounded masculine energy there, and a lot of the forcing, or a lot of the like, I don't want any of this. I just wanted to feel good all the time. And guess what? It actually feels better all the time than it did before, now that I've put all this in place. So much juice today. So much juice today. I am so hyped up about this. This is so vital to your long-term success in your business. This is a topic that I encourage you to come back to again and again and again. And that is this topic around how do we actually turn this traffic into clients to buy from you? How do we actually generate consistent leads for your business for you? This is one of the biggest things and biggest problems to solve for your business. And it will likely continuously be as you're building the brand and as you're building the systems and as you're refining to making it better. But when you start to have a consistent amount and a certain volume of leads coming to you, and you're building the systems to help you with that, this is when we can really start to move into scaling beyond 6 figures. So setting this up from the beginning will not only set you up to hit 6 figures, but it'll allow you to actually continuously grow. And I personally want to help you avoid getting to a place where you're sort of like pushing and being kind of like, all like, you know, all over the place, and you get there and then you have to hit the emergency brake like I had, and it stalls your growth. It broke my heart. It was hard. It was fucking tough to have to hit the emergency brake and stop taking on clients and reassess everything. We want to build systems and processes that work from you now. So when you are hitting the 6 figures, you are like on a go to scale from there. Not stop and have to pull back because you're burned out and you have no systems. And now it's hard to implement everything because you're already serving clients. You already have a community. You already have all these things happening. It wasn't fun. It was not fun. So think about these pieces that I've given you today. I love you so much. I can't wait to be back next week. Actually in 2 weeks to talk with Millie, and next week to talk with my client Courtney, who's one of my strategic clients, and we're going to be diving into the importance of owning your expertise. And I'm so excited about that juicy conversation. So next week we'll be chatting with Courtney. The week after, I'm diving into collabs with Millie. And then there's so many amazing guests coming in the next couple of weeks. I'm so excited. And I can't wait to share those incredible interviews with you and insights with you. Here's to having an epic journey and to doing something with the traffic and getting more clients into your programs and services.